Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're reviewing the all-new Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Mazda here in Southtown, Utah for giving me some time with this CX-90. This particular one is still available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. If you have any questions, just ask for Jake. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering the PHEV CX-90 is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and a hybrid system. Total system output is 323 horsepower and then 369 pound-feet of torque on premium fuel. Now your MPGe rating is 56. You've got 26 miles of electric driving range, and then if you have no hybrid assist whatsoever, you can still get 25 miles per gallon. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, popping over to the hood, you guys can see it's just flat there in the center, and then you've got some really distinctive lines there on either side. And then coming down below, I love the headlight design, and I like the daytime running light right there that kind of dissects the grille. You've got chrome trim here for the bottom portion of the grille, and then notice how it's all blacked out in the center. You've got the Mazda logo, and just look at the pattern. I think that's pretty cool. And then we do have parking sensors integrated onto the front end too. Putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the front end on this new CX-90. Now, coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275, 45, 21 in the front, and over in the rear, you guys can see the silver there on the top. Notice how it's blacked out in the center. I love the design there. That's pretty cool. Now, this particular CX-90 has unpainted fender flares. You can see the trim at the bottom also unpainted, but you can get versions of the CX-90 where it's all body painted. Got the Mazda logo right there, and then we have our PHEV badge on the side. And then here is your full side view with the CX-90. It has this really cool, sleek appearance. Now I've got a normal Mazda key fob with the Mazda logo. We also have our unlocked lock function, and then of course the opening for the hatch. Now popping into the rear, you guys can see there's a decent amount of space here behind the third row. And then with the third row folded down, it is quite large indeed. And then we have an outlet here in the back, as you can see. And then on the other side as well, a little button there to turn it on, and then here so you guys can see the power of that. Pretty cool little feature you get with the plug-in hybrid. And then when you're all done, just press this button and that will lower the hatch right back down. And now let's cap things off with the rear end of the CX-90. You guys can see the new style of taillights here, and of course we got all of our badges, including the SkyActiv PHEV badge, and then parking sensors here at the bottom. But let me know what you guys think about the new CX-90 when it comes to style. Now, popping inside, first off, we've got some sunshade action here in the back, and then look at the trim up top. I mean, this is just beautiful. And then really nice padding down below. And then even the door handle looks fancy. And then popping over to the seats, you guys can see perforated all down the center portion. I do like this little strip there in the center, and then you've got a little adjustment there on the side. Now, popping into the second row, legroom back here is really good. We've got a storage pocket here in the rear. We've got some vents. We have our own climate zone, as well as heated seats here for the second row passengers. We also get our own armrests, which is pretty neat. And then, headroom's good. Now, getting in the third row is pretty easy. Just pull that, and then you can push the seat forward. Now, legroom here in the third row is pretty average for the segment. We've got some cup holder action. We got a USB back here. It looks like we got some vent action as well. And let's quickly pick up the seat. Yeah, it's got a little strip there in the center, so the seat looks pretty cool. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see the trim here at the top, and then look at down below. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then I love this here. That looks fantastic. Yeah, the handle up here looks fancy too. We got all our window controls, mirror adjustments, all that. And by the way, got a nice like clicky feel with all the controls here in the CX-90. And then here's a quick look at the seats. You can see perforated all down the center portion. Got our power adjustments on the side, and then we've got our memory seat function right here. That's for the hatch, that's for the safety tech, and you guys can see for the parking sensors, your traction control, and then also for the gas cap to release that. I got some padding. And speaking of gas cap, well, since this is a plug-in hybrid, we of course have the area where you would charge it, as you can see. So pretty straightforward setup on the passenger side. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, we've got really nice leather trim all around. This does come with adaptive cruise control. You've got your volume controls, voice command controls, phone controls on the steering wheel as well. And let's just take a moment to look at how cool the steering wheel is. There is paddle shifters there on the back as well. And then we've got the turn signal light stock and then your windshield wiper stock. Now before we dive into the gauge cluster, I like how this all connects. Has a really beautiful appearance. But anyways, here is the center gauge cluster, fully digital, and you know, aside from that, it's a pretty normal gauge cluster other than the fact that you've got some of the EV stuff there, so it lets you know if you're in the power or if you're charging the whole system. Then over here it lets us know the state of charge and then fuel and all of that, what's happening with that setup. And just like the regular CX-90, we do have drive modes which have cool little animations. We do have an EV mode as well, and even off-road mode. But yeah, I like those drive-by animations. That's pretty fun. And then another cool point is that this does have a heads-up display. In reverse, we do have a backup camera, and notice this, it's got trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. We also have that 360 view as well because it's got a 360 camera system. If I actually put it into park and then press the camera button, it'll pull up with the camera view, which is pretty cool. And you can actually change the viewpoint as well if you want. So that's the front camera viewpoint, for example. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's all controlled via a dial. It's actually really straightforward. Once you get used to it, it's frankly like second nature with the controls. And so I know some people might complain that it's not a touchscreen, but the dial is so good that it doesn't need to be a touchscreen. This trim here on the dash looks really nice, and then look at the stitching and kind of like piping right there. And then this trim here that connects the vents, it also looks really high quality. And then we've got our controls here for the climate system. So the dual zone up front, we do have heated and ventilated seats. This is cool with the climate controls. I don't know, I just think that part of it is fun. Now we also have a wireless phone charging pad up front. You got a little charging port right there. Your drive mode select, and again, the trim piece there is really nice. And then this is basically to charge with the EV system. So you press that, and then you can charge it while you drive. And then we got the shifter here for the 8-speed automatic. It's a normal CX-90 shifter where you put it over to the side to use it. And then this actually has hill descent control. We've got your little camera button there, and then look at the trim here. And then this is the infotainment system section right here with the volume control next to it. Again, like I said, it's a dial, really easy to use. Parking brake, you got your auto hold, and then we've got the double center console opening. Really nice trim here on the top. And then taking a look at the glove box, it's a pretty normal glove box. It is lined with felt, which is nice. And then at the very top, you guys can see we've got control for the sunroof. We've got a full panoramic sunroof here on the CX-90, and then just a lighter colored headliner. So here's our window sticker for the CX-90 PHEV, and you guys can see all the standard equipment here that comes with it. Your base MSRP right there, $56,950. And then we do have some options added to this particular one. Biggest thing is destination charge, right? Anyways, total MSRP $58,920, which is really impressive. I thought this would be more expensive than the regular CX-90 because that's what most automakers do with their plug-in hybrids. But Mazda somehow, some way made this about the same price. So let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And with that being said, this shifter, it takes a second to get used to it, but once you get used to it, it's really cool. And you just got to make sure, yeah, GoPro's on. For some reason, my GoPro didn't make the normal like clicking sound when it turns on, so for a second there I was like, did it actually turn on? Now let's put this in, yeah, let's do full EV mode, because I'm sure that those of you that are looking to, you know, purchase one of these are going to be wondering what this drives like in the full EV mode. And first off, you know, surprise, surprise, it's very quiet actually, which, you know, that's kind of what you get with electric power. And it's actually very interesting. It almost feels like it has gears. What the what? Yeah, I'm in EV mode and I've got charge. It's super strange. It's like it's shifting. Okay, no, now it's not anymore. Maybe I was just, maybe my perception fooled me there. But yeah, it totally felt kind of, okay, now it's just linear. Huh. I wonder what that was. Maybe, again, like I said, maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me. But anyways, let's pop it into, not off-road, sport mode now. gets all red and aggressive. Look how the gauge fully changes. That's one of the coolest things with the CX-90. Okay, so the engine's on. Whoa! That's faster than I thought it would be. I mean, you know, the power figures are strong, but usually with plug-in hybrids, because I've tested quite a few of these on the channel, they usually can be kind of lackluster with acceleration, to be honest. Because what will happen is you'll have like a big disconnect between the engine, the transmission, and then the electric side of things. So like what will happen is you'll get an instant push from the electric side of things, and then by the time that push kind of dies, then the car's geared down and then starts to accelerate. So it's like, whenever they say they have a certain amount of horsepower, it always feels like less. But this, I mean, it still has to do normal car stuff where it still has to downshift and everything, but it's a lot stronger than I expected. It definitely is a lot stronger than I expected. Still handles like a normal Mazda, still has the great handling dynamics. Yeah, this is the strong powertrain. Let's drive it just in normal mode. Just kind of like what you do if you're driving around town. I will say ride quality is amazing on the new CX-90. I mean, the interior already feels like a luxury car, but then the ride and everything else lends to a luxury experience. It's really, really good. So when you're in the normal mode and it's just using, you know, it's kind of just trying to be, I guess, normal, right? Yeah, the system's really good. So capping things off, I'm really impressed. With that being said, for me personally, I'd still probably get the inline 6 because I'm just a performance nut job. But with that being said, you get a lot of utility out of this. Again, you can charge it at home, and with that 26 miles of driving range, I mean, that's the grocery store. For a lot of people, that's their commute to work without having to use any sort of gas. And the thing that I think is the most impressive about this whole system, it's not more expensive. Like this, I mean, again, the MSRP of this seems pretty close to a regular Premium Plus. And so let me know what you guys think about Mazda's new plug-in hybrid. I think this is kind of a game changer for the plug-in hybrid world because this is a lot more appealing to other plug-in hybrids that I've reviewed. It seems like the performance and everything is a lot better. Like it seems like the system communicates a lot better. And then on top of that, you're not having to pay an arm and a leg for this, right? Like you look at most other manufacturers, they make you pay a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 price premium for the plug-in hybrid. Whereas this, again, it looks like it's about the same amount of money. Let me know what you guys think.